is LBC from Global, leading Britain's conversation with Nick Abbot.
Are you trying to be funny? Because I'm all out of laugh.
Hello, boys.
0345 6060 973. Let's see now. A lot of people asking me if I've seen the dinglings wearing bandages on their ears. Well, yes, I have. Yeah, I mean, you couldn't really miss it, could you? Hang on. One moment. Oh, here we go. I have detailed files. Former peach powder puff president and full-time whining baby, Adolf Twitler, staged another dramatic entrance to day 3 of his Make America White Again rally, this time waddling into a packed hall of numbskulls and dinglings to the strain of James Brown's It's a Man's World. Because if there's one thing that is Looney Tunes' Camo-Clad, Gun-Toting, Bible-bashing cultists in Murica can agree on, it's that real men put lifts in their shoes and makeup on their faces and waft around in a cloud of hairspray. And I can't be sure, but I bet every penny that I've got on me that James Brown would not appreciate his music being used by Mr. Good People on both sides. And Trump raised his fist as he entered, once again wearing a bandage on his ear. And the sight of his crowd punching the air with their fists while they shout, "Fight, fight, fight," is a little bit, you know, it's a little bit History Channel. I'd go ahead and freak out now if I were you. So Trump came in and he raised his fist as he entered, once again wearing a bandage on his ear, as did the most particularly slack-jawed members of his willingly gullible audience. They sat there as though in rapture, with huge plasters on their ears, like people wear crosses round their necks, like the idiot crowds in Life of Brian, who took their shoe off because Brian lost his while trying to get away from him. We are actually living through what used to be 2 comedy films at the same time, Life of Brian and Idiocracy. But there used to be comedy films about how easily led and stupid people are. Now they're both documentaries. And Hulk Hogan, the actor from the pretend wrestling show, he ripped his shirt off on stage at the Trump rally in a sort of religious fervour to reveal a Trump T-shirt beneath. And the crowd went berserk. They had a patriot-gasm you could hear from space. And it looked like it was a scene lifted directly from Idiocracy, a film about the lowering of intelligence over time and how America became not a democracy but an idiocracy. Well, welcome to the future. Half of America is here already. And I was going to say hero worshipping of the peach powder puff ex-president, but it's not hero worship, it's adoration. It's deification. They venerate him as though he is sent from heaven. You actually had the mayoress of Crazy Town, Marjorie Taylor Greene, an elected official representing the state of Georgia, who said that God personally saved Donald Trump because she saw the flag behind him flutter into the shape of an angel before that kid tried to shoot him. So, presumably, God did not intervene to save the retired fireman behind him, just as he didn't step in to save any of those children in the hospital in Ukraine, bombed by Donny's best friend, Vladimir Putin, and he didn't raise a finger to save any of those who died and are still dying in Gaza, and God sat out the Holocaust and let 5 million people die, but God leapt in to steer the bullet from hitting the screaming Mimi. Yeah, that makes sense. But if God did that, couldn't God just have prevented Donny from getting hit at all? I mean, you know, while God was at it? If God was really with him, why couldn't God have just steered the bullet away? I mean, either these people are insane or I am. And why are people writing as fact that he got hit by a bullet? Just after it happened, I was speaking to a Washington reporter on that night, on Sunday, on this station. And the immediate word from the inside, from his source in the Secret Service, was that it wasn't a bullet, it was a piece of glass from the teleprompter that flew off and nicked Trump's ear. But that doesn't sound as heroic, does it? I mean, I'm no expert, but wouldn't a bullet from a military assault rifle have made more of a wound than that? And how did a kid who was thrown out of his high school shooting club for being a terrible shot become such a perfect shot while under pressure, on a roof, 100 metres away from a moving target? He didn't. He missed, he hit the lectern, a piece of glass shattered off, gave Donny a tiny cut on the ear, and him and his cult worshippers have been milking it ever since. Either that, or God saved Donald Trump. You decide. Nice use of the ex-fireman who actually did get shot behind him, though. I mean, his widow said that Biden tried to call her to extend his sympathies, Joe Biden. But she wouldn't take the call. because she votes Republican and knew that her husband would. They were Trump fans, so she didn't take the call from the actual president, Joe Biden. And then she was asked, did Donald Trump call? No, he didn't. Donald Trump went golfing, just as you would imagine. But he did kiss the fireman's helmet, which was set up for him along with the man's uniform, on stage. So weird. He walks over and does that grabby thing he does with the flag and women. And he kisses the man's helmet to whoops and cheers. Uses a dead man's uniform as a prop on a stage at a rally to worship himself. All perfectly normal. Nothing to be alarmed about. 0345 6060 973. Hampshire, Lauren.